Hey guys, welcome to part 2 or second episode of the day from the range. What I wanted to do now was come out here and put a few rounds through my Gerson Influencer slash Match X because I haven't done so since it was blued. For those of you that don't know, I'll insert a picture here of what the stock Influencer X looks like, as well as what a stock 1911 from Gerson looks like. They don't offer this high polish flat surface combo. This is something that was on a lot of like Colt competition models, and then Kimber did it with their Royal Classic, and I saw it and it really made me want to do it to this gun because I was like, it's not an expensive firearm, although it actually has got really good bones in it. I tore it apart and rebuilt it myself after the bluing, but I wanted to make it look a little bit more me, and I'm aesthetically driven. I like the flat look of guns, so that's what I did with this one. I threw the Surefire on there just because with my current pistol holding way, just like PewView does, it gives me somewhere to put the extra finger. Ask your girlfriend or wife what I mean by that. And yeah, I'm just going to throw a couple of mags through it and see how it works, and then we're going to transition. Pardon me, I'm a big proponent of gun safety at the range. Even though I'm by myself, I should actually keep doing that. I'm gonna take these off for a second. Then I'm going to do a service that I did a disservice to. Oh man, you can see all the, when guns, I'm shooting close to a steel target right there and it's throwing spall over at my shit. But yeah, this is a Sig P320 X5 Legion with the tungsten infused grip. Probably my favorite 320. Yes, I know Sig has its issues with 320s and blah, 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 but they're also a bunch of dirt bags for the way they're handling the situation. They need to hire a better marketing team or PR team, but this has always been my favorite striker fired pistol. And I actually worked with Armory Craft to put their dual adjustable trigger in it. So this is adjustable for both pre and over travel, and it really makes the trigger super nice. I'd compare it to PDPs or Canic Rivals. I actually think it's a little lighter than both of those. It doesn't have quite the same reset. So clear, 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 clear. Go ahead and show you the trigger pull. So like I said, that's all the take up there is on this gun now. And there's the brake. I have it set to the extremes on this particular trigger. It cannot be adjusted anymore in this particular FCU. If I adjust it even a quarter turn of the set screws, this gun will not fire. So I have it set absolutely to the limits of both over travel and pre-travel for this particular FCU. You might have more or less adjustability depending on your FCU. Manufacturing dates and things like that could matter. Plus, if you have a stock 320 trigger, this had the X trigger in it with the shorter 40% lighter pull already. But what it does is a stock 320 has a ton of pre-travel. It's like almost a quarter of an inch when you pull that trigger back. I've eliminated nearly all of that. This is like 1911 level stuff. And the pull is around 3 pounds on it now. So for a striker fire gun, that's amazing. The reset, like I said, I have it adjusted out as far as it'll go, and there's still a little bit more than I'd like. Canics and Walther PDPs have like almost 2 millimeter reset. This is more like 3 or 4. But yeah, we'll put some rounds through this as well. I only brought one mag for this because I'm a dumbass. So I'm going to shoot the Gerson first, and then we'll go over to the Armory Craft. No sponsors in this video. It's just me out at the range having a good time. For those of you that don't know, I'm at Middletown Firearms Training Facility. So this is a place where you can learn to be gut gooder, where you can learn to get gooder at shooting your firearms. They also teach concealed carry classes, personal protection classes, competition shooting classes. They do a little bit of everything here. So if you are interested, I highly suggest you check them out. Since it is simply for training purposes, this is not for sales or anything like that. The link will be in the description. And thank you again to Middletown Firearms for letting me use their range. Shooting MagTech 115 grain brass. It shot this no problem last time. Actually, I was shooting steel case 115 and it shot it no problem last time. So we'll see how it is now. I went through the gun before I reassembled it, the Gerson, and I polished both the sear and the disconnector. Actually, what I did was there was a little bit of uneven wear, so I flattened out the sear and the disconnector interface so it sits more flush. Adjusted the rear main spring a little bit more to get the trigger pull a little bit softer, And yeah, just overall, it should be a much lighter trigger than it was even before. And it was only at about 4 pounds before, so it should be about 3.5 pounds now. I like my 1911s to have very light triggers. Son, why isn't your safety on your gun?
Sir, this is my safety.
Thanks to you guys getting us to 180,000+ subscribers. Companies like Gerson, Meta Tactical, Fusion Firearms, all these cool ass companies keep reaching out to me and asking me if I want to review their products. And a lot of their products I already have. So of course I have done a lot of reviews on a lot of guns, but there are some that I just don't have. And because of you guys, bow to yourselves, give yourselves a hand, D. They are sending me guns to review, and I really appreciate that. So again, thank you guys. I'm only wearing in-ears today because I don't really need to be wearing full-on stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to be shooting at these two closest targets to this table because my jacket and everything on the table right now is covered in spall. Did not think about that because I'm a dumbass. The target is turned a little bit, but I didn't set up the target, so I'm not going to unset them up because this is Jim's range, not mine. Being disabled, it's difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and load this mag up too while I'm at it. Might as well, because I'm going to switch right to it. I say it in every video, get yourself an Uplula. These things will save your life and your hands. And your marriage, because your wife won't yell at you so much when you're taking forever to load her mags. Haha, you guys thought I was going to be a feminist or a masochist or an a-hole. But no, I flipped it on you. Husbands know their place, loading their wife's mags. Let's go ahead and put our first shots through the freshly blued Gerson Influencer. So even though bluing doesn't really add any real material to the firearm, I still went through and repolished the gun to make it as smooth, if not smoother than it was, because why wouldn't you give your gun the best possible chance of running perfectly? Oiled the snot out of it, so you may see some poofs the first few shots, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to use the 10 rounder. Last time I did a video, it didn't work in the gun right. See if it works now. Ooh, almost didn't go back into battery. Additionally, I'm using the wrong slide on this gun. Safeties are on. This slide is meant to be on the 2311, and it did come with a second spring. I did not change out the spring, so we'll see how it runs. Also, I don't know if this red dot is still zeroed. I took it off of the other slide, so we'll see. It should be, though. Oh, glasses. You need to protect yourself from spall, kids. And ricochets. Helps if you put the safety down. Here we go. Yeah, so that's definitely me, I think. There we go. All right, I'm using the iron sight because the optic is way high. But there we go. A few rounds in, it seems to have started going back into battery. Again, when you refinish a gun, you can run into those kind of issues. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that was probably from the finish. But yeah, I'm having a hold. If I'm using the dot is about 2 inches over the target at 12 yards. So, let's keep going. Woohoo, it works. Love the smell of gunpowder in the morning. Also, I had to repolish the feed ramp because when they blued it, they blued the entire gun. So, nice. Seeing a little bit of drag on this side, on the barrel. Again, it's in the wrong frame, so all of that could be conspiring to cause a little bit of issue, but feels a lot smoother than it was even when I started, so that's cool. All right, let's move on to the second firearm of today. Sorry, my legs just gave out. This is the P320 that I was talking about, and I already showed you how the trigger is on it, but I have not showed it shooting. Let's do it lefty so you can see how short the trigger is. Don't know if it's on. I also did not have this red dot on it forever, so. Well, this red dot's on. ricochet. So yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. Hot brass on firearms. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load up another mag and we'll move back to this competition side. I really wish I hadn't forgotten my other mag. So I'm only hitting those 3 targets right now, the big one and the 2 small ones, because those 2 are in line with the table, and I'm getting spall going onto the table and getting gun shrapnel or bullet shrapnel all over my guns. So we don't like that, but let's just go ahead. 320, the farthest target looks to be about 15 yards-ish, maybe 20, so 15 I'd say. Since I shot this guy. Excellent trigger. I almost feel bad that I'm getting rid of this firearm because I want the X5 Classic from the 226 lineup, and the only way I can afford it is to get rid of my baby. Yeah, wonder how you can find that. So in conclusion, what do I think about the Armory Craft trigger in this gun? Number one, it makes it shoot like a much more higher end gun, even though technically this is a $1,000 gun. For a striker fire, that's a lot. But it makes this thing feel a lot closer to something like a Canic or a PDP or a good gun, as opposed to a stock 320, which already has a problem with having a bore axis that's super high. You can see that when you're shooting how high the barrel is. The center line of the barrel is your bore axis, and when it's right there, you have almost an inch of bore axis. It will cause it to recoil more. You've seen on 1911s how well controlled they are, especially the Compta versions. But these guys, they can have a lot harder time returning to zero. This is the X5 Legion, so at least it's got the much heavier frame. This is a 46 ounce or 48 ounce gun, so nearly 3 pounds with the full tungsten frame, which is good. I didn't trust my own zero on the red dot. The red dot was sighted in, that was me. And I didn't use all the targets because I was putting bullet shrapnel onto one of my guns, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to put a few more rounds through the 1911, and then we'll call it an end. So the sun's coming out and it's warming up a little bit, so the last few mags I'm going to put through the 1911, again at the 3 things there, but I'm going to back up to about, I don't know, what is this? Probably 25 yards-ish, just kind of winging them. And again, this has the Burris Fast Fire C, so it has no rear notch for the front sight, so I'm winging them using just the front sight, which I've never done on this particular gun, so the hold over is a little questionable, but it did cycle that round, so we'll start on the big guy and see where it goes. There we go. All the gun is, that's all that's important, right? That was me because of my grip. Don't worry, that mag is fine. So I'm kind of leaning towards this mag just not working right, because this mag keeps on having the stoppages. So we're not going to use that mag anymore. That was a mag that had, trying to remember where I found that. Chantilly Gun Show, Dulles Gun Show. And yeah, it just does not like to work 100%. That was the one in the previous video that failed to feed the first round, and then now it's having some issues. So I'll just keep using these, which are the stock Mechgars, and we'll finish it out. Oh try to give it some good news, and then it just does that to you. So as I'm cleaning up, thank you guys very much for checking out this video. I know that I haven't done a lot of range trips, and in fact, I haven't even gone for myself in a long time. I've only put about 400 rounds down range this year, and that includes the last 2 videos you just saw. So the round count this year has been extremely limited, and that is something I am looking forward to remedying this year. That's in part due to Middletown Firearms allowing me to use their range, which is awesome. Make sure to check them out, schedule your time so that you can do a little bit of pew-pew training. Don't know why I bothered putting that in the sleeves, because they're just going to fall out when I pick up the bag. But yeah, as we come to the range every week, I'll start getting back into my shooting groove, and that'll be good. And I'll be able to give you more of a hands-on experience. I've always been just a reviewer. I am technically a YouTuber now because I've got enough subs and people watching me, and people are sending me review samples. So I do have to take that responsibility responsibly and try to be as unbiased as I can, while also being transparent with you guys. I'm not doing this as a joke. They always turn the table so that the morning dew doesn't get the table soaking wet. There we go. So yeah, come back for another video. I gotta go to work. I'll edit these and put them up. I hope to talk to you guys next week when we're doing another range video. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, become a member, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll have a good time. We do live streams 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. I do stupid stuff. I wear stupid stuff. So come back for those. I love you guys. I almost fell into you. And as always, I'll talk to you later.